Well, good evening, everyone. I hope everyone's doing well on this Tuesday evening, the 8th of September. I hope everyone had a great Labor Day weekend. I had a 4-day weekend, which I thoroughly enjoyed. Um, just kind of chilled out. Really didn't do a whole lot. Want to welcome everybody. This is Rotor Talk Live, Season 3, Episode 38, DJI Mavic 3. Don't wait for it. Got a lot to talk about tonight. I know there's not a lot to talk about, but there is a lot to talk about tonight. Now, first of all, I want to do some greetings. 1030 is in the house. Sam Burns is here. Richard Hudman, Steve Mack is here. Drone Shots is here. Welcome. Minnesota Drone, welcome, my friend. Sam Burns is in the house. Great to see you tonight. Also want to say, before we kind of get started here, do my news and updates. A lot of you who have, who won in the 10,000 subscriber giveaways have received them. And I know Ray Kelly, my good friend, he won the polo shirt. You need to go check out Ray's video, okay? Latest video on YouTube, because he's wearing his shirt on a trip to Best Buy to help his friend buy a DJI Mavic Mini. So that's something I think that is really cool. So you get a chance to go check out Ray's latest video. I don't see Ray on tonight. Russell, welcome. I just thought that was pretty good. And my friend Minnesota. I'm sorry, gosh, I'm bad tonight. Okay. Okay. Just anyway. Tim from Minnesota got a shirt as well too. And he did a video and he was wearing the shirt as well. So that's great to see. I know some other ones have got coffee mugs and everything, and I'm real pleased with that. And I know also Marcus and Ron, for being co-hosts, they got a coffee mug. And I have other ones coming out to Candano, Original Dobo, Rick Smith, Bill Thomas, and Kelly Shores. They'll be getting theirs. I'll be getting that out in the mail shortly to them. I've had relaxing, but had a lot to do this weekend. All right, got some other things going on here as well too. One of the other things, and I'm gonna put it as a news and informational kind of a thing here for everybody tonight. The Mavic Mini is no more. I've parted ways with it. My heart is broken. No. I sold my Mavic Mini. I got a great price for it. I sold it on eBay. And the reason I sold the Mavic Mini is real simple, okay? Mavic Mini has exceptional video, okay? I won't even begin to say that. Ridgeflower 32. Ray Kelly, I was just talking about you and your shirt and your video. Ray, if you could go ahead, I'm going to go ahead and add you as a moderator. So if you can go ahead and post the link to your video where you're wearing that shirt, we'll let everybody see you wearing that shirt. I love that. I love that. So, yeah, Sam, it is. And the reason I sold it, it was real simple. Okay. In Florida, almost every day, it's rare that you have calm winds in Florida, and especially I'm probably about no more than 5 miles from the Gulf Coast. So the closer you are to the coast, the winds are going to pick up whenever you're near a large body of water like that. And today, for example, we've had on and off storms, even more crazier than normal. And with that come those high winds. And, every time I would take that Mini up, I would be getting a wind warning on it. And it was just, it would just kill me because I was getting some great shots and have to come back all the time. Because that warning would keep popping up in red, and fool me once, shame on you; fool me twice, shame on me. It would come up a couple of times, and I said, you know what, I got to pull this back. So that's why I sold the Mini. Okay, had I not lived in a windy area, it would be great. But you got to understand, 249 grams. There's not a lot there in terms of the weight. Okay, so that's why I ended up doing that. Arco Drone Solutions, Albuquerque Drone Copper. Jay Bird Drone is in the house. Thank you guys for showing up tonight. So yeah, that's been the latest here. So yeah, and I got a good price for it. I was pretty pleased with it, and it sold very quickly. So no complaints there. And I enjoyed my time with it, and I got a lot of good videos out there for people to watch. And I know a drone is still popular. I get anywhere from 20 to 30 people join the Mavic Mini group that I have a day. So, you know, and there's no lack of videos that I didn't do for that. Okay. I've done everything on that. So there's a whole, you know, on doing firmware updates, you know, how to do a live stream using iPrism on there. There's a lot out there, a lot to digest out there. So the other thing I wanted to share with you tonight is there actually is some news, and it's really kind of interesting what happened here. Now, I found this on Drone DJ. Now, you guys know, hey, Kesselu's no longer with them, okay? And it's real interesting. This article here talks about first cross-border 5G drone flight completed above Latvia. And in the article, basically, what happened is they went ahead, the flight, Latvian mobile telephone LMTs completed their first cross-border drone flight, can run completely on its 5G network. It sent the drone to neighboring Estonia. The drone flight spanned more than 8 kilometers, 5 miles, and used 2 SIM cards to stay connected. And what they did was, when it got to a certain point, it went from one carrier to another carrier in milliseconds. And it's, you know, it's beyond visual line of sight flying, of course, being at 5 miles. But it's very interesting that that this took place. And this is going to pave the way for, you know, future things. You know, when, you know, you're looking at traveling bigger distances with drones. So I just thought it's kind of interesting. If you guys want to go ahead and check out the article, I actually watched a few minutes of that video. It was interesting. So definitely check it out. It's on Drone DJ. One of the other things that recently came up that I found out about was GoPro Hero, and I want to thank my good friend Ron Brown, posted on his page about that. Now, they recently released the specs, and here they are on Drone DJ. 41% larger battery, 20 megapixel, 5K 30 frames per second, and you can see this time they have copied what the Osmo Action has done and have a front a viewfinder on it, which is good. I mean, that's a good thing. And these are some good specs. Now, you know, it also be able to shoot in slow motion, 240 frames per second or 8x. Hero 9 feature voice control, waterproof to 33 feet, improved Hypersmooth 3.0. It'll take RAW and HDR photos. Now, the thing with this is, I'm going to go ahead and front color display and price. Now, the price of this, it said Singapore was $680, which is US $500 here. And I got to stop at this point, all right? I got to do, you know, I don't understand why they price these cameras so high, because it's just not, guys, you know, I'm just going to go ahead and say it now. It's not, you know, it's not worth it, guys. Ray, thanks for posting that. I appreciate that. It's not worth it. I mean, seriously, think about it. You know, that kind of price. I just don't see it. I just don't see it being worth it. I mean, you know, it's a great camera. There's no, you know, there's no doubt about that, guys. I have absolutely no doubt about that. However, you know, at that kind of price, yeah, that front, it is nice, Ray. You know, and here's the thing for me. If that was $400, that would be very tempting to me. At $500 plus, you know, you got to buy accessories for it. You're going to have to buy a cage for it, because I'm sure it's a little bigger and it won't fit last year's cage. You're going to, you know, maybe not have to get a new mic, but who knows? You know, and all kinds of things. So, you know, GoPro's in the business to make money, and I understand that. But to price themselves so high, you get a lot of people taking a pass on it and maybe saying, I'll look at a Hero 8 instead, or if you want that front viewfinder, go with an Osmo Action. They've been at rock bottom prices lately. I mean, really. Big Marks were a welcome here. Opens the door for DJI to raise their price is what it does. You're right. Yeah, you're right, Tony. You're right. Absolutely right. That's a great point. Mikey. We will see you and Ron at 9 o'clock tonight, my friend. Thanks for showing up. Sam Burns. God, everybody, check out Mikey. Ron's with Mikey on Tuesday night. Ron is the only person in this earth that can bring Mikey back down to earth. So, and it's worth a treat just watching that. So, Ron, kudos to you for being able to do that week in and week out with Mikey. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I wanted to make another programming announcement here. A couple of things so you guys can know before I move on to the next topic. The night of the debates, I believe they start about 8 o'clock. We're going to start at 7 o'clock that night. And then on election night, I'm going to have a pre-recorded, either I haven't decided if I'm going to do a show at 7 or if I'm going to put a pre-recorded show up at 7. So stay tuned for that. I haven't decided yet. I just want to let you know, kind of give you guys some programming notes because I know a lot of you are interested in the election, and that's all I'm going to say about it. Trust me. All right, moving on to the next subject here. Now, most of I got my replacement Fimi, and you saw my first two videos. All right, first flight was flawless. Had absolutely no issues with that. The horizon was level. Everything looked good. I thought the colors looked good. Now, of course, I'm late. It's late in the day, so it's a little darker as far as colors are concerned. And then you saw my second one with precision landing, where it was just all four legs on the mat perfectly. Okay. I'm going to try to, the weather has been so wonky down here. It's like every day we're getting these thunder showers, and they're not just the 20-minute kind. They're the hour-and-a-half kind, and they don't stop. And it's just been next to impossible to get out to fly. But as soon as I get my next chance, I'm going to go out there and do that. So got lots more to do. Also, I got landing gear for it. Those accessories, I ordered them the same time I ordered my original order through Banggood, and they finally got here. Okay. Wow. Leonard, welcome. Thanks for showing up tonight. Barry Markowitz. Oahu have an enforced lockdown. If we go to a park or beach, that's fine. It doesn't matter what we fly or action camera we own. It's hard to use anytime. Okay. Good to know. Thank you. Ray Kelly to Mikey. All right. But yeah, well, I'm with the Fimi. I'm very pleased with it. Now, Banggood did have a sale on it up until the 7th. I think it's back up now. I reposted it in the group to $439, but there's talk about it going back down to $389. So go out there, and if you see it that it's $389, let me know. Either send me a message or post it out on the Fimi group and let me know that, so I can adjust that, because the ad says, my link says, $439, I believe. But if it's a lower price, I'll change that in the ad. And see, the nice thing is if you click that ad, you'll get that price that Banggood's offering. So definitely, if you're looking to get a Fimi, and it's from the U.S. warehouse and they show in stock. So that's a completely different story. So definitely do that. And they'll probably have August build dates like mine. And that, you can't beat that for a build date as far as build dates are concerned. So just really pleased. And I've seen a lot of people get their replacement units already out there in the group, which is definitely good news. And got a lot of feedback on my video from last week about the tips on dealing with customer service with Fimi and everything. Got a lot of good feedback on there, and thank you. And it really always pays to go ahead and kill them with kindness. Seriously, guys, you go out there and you tell them, you give them all the information you want. They ask from you, okay, and you're polite. but also, but also be polite but firm, okay? Follow up with them. If you haven't heard for a day or two, follow up. And my suggestion is, if you don't follow up, here's a rule of thumb. I'll follow up, and maybe I'll wait a day and then follow up. And if I don't hear anything, then I'll email them the next day until I do. And it's being polite but persistent. That would be the advice that I would have for you. So I'm looking forward. We got lots more on the Fimi to come up to you. And I also want to tie this in with selling the Mavic Mini. And a lot of people are saying, Bill, you sold the Mavic Mini. What'd you do that for? Well, let me tell you what, okay? The Fimi X8 SE 2020, look at the weight of that, okay? I've had that up there in about 20-mile-an-hour winds, and it holds its own up there, okay? It does a good job. I mean, now my best drones in the wind, the Mavic 2 is great in the wind. The Phantom 4 Pro V2.0 is great in the wind. A Mavic Air 2 has been good in the wind. I think the Mavic 2 Pro is probably about one of the best. And those motors compensate real well in the wind. I'm very pleased with that. So, but all in all, for a $400 drone, that's pretty good. And, it really kind of tipped the scale for me to go ahead and sell the Mini. And I'm going to gave somebody a great deal, of course, over getting something brand new. And, I take good care of stuff. So they got a great deal with it. So all in all, the combination of, the dealing with the wind plus how well the Fimi has been for me, it was a no-brainer. It was an absolute total no-brainer with that. Lauren's in the house. Welcome. Good to see you. Matt, that's great to hear. Air 2 has been stellar in the wind. Yeah, it has. It has to. It really, really has. I've been very pleased with that. So, all in all, with the Fimi, I've got no complaints. I really have no complaints with that. It's done very well. I'm going to finally get to review my charger that I purchased on Amazon. I have 3 batteries now, so I'm going to try charging all 3 batteries and the controller at the same time. There's going to be a video coming up on that shortly, so stay tuned for that. I'm going to be doing a lot, like I said, a lot of testing with the Fimi. I'm going to be doing some high altitude testing, see how it handles that. Like I said, I got a lot lined up for that, so guys, stay tuned for that. Gary Campbell's in the house. Like I said, Lauren's here. Carrie Sullivan is here tonight. Hot Rod in Daytona, welcome. Glad to see you. And Matt Cundiff, welcome here. Glad to see you again. We got 47 people out there, guys. Smash that like button. That helps me out an awful lot. I appreciate that. Appreciate that an awful lot. All right. Well, one of the things that's been very exciting lately about this guy, all right, Mavic Air 2, is the zoom feature with the scroll. You guys just saw the video that I put out on this. My jaw is hanging down here with being able to scroll with this drone, okay? What you get for the value in the dollar of this drone is amazing, okay? I'd say right now, out of any drone to get for DJI, it's a no-brainer. It is an absolute no-brainer. And with that, I'm going to say, you know what? Is the Mavic 2 Zoom obsolete now? Let's take a look. What I'm going to do is actually don't have it up on DJI's website, which is what I was going to do to compare specs, because they have a nice little comparison thing. What I'm going to do is B&H has thing, but you can't really compare. I'm going to show you the specs on one. We'll show you the specs on the other one. We're going to talk about this here for a few minutes because I think it's really important here. I mean, DJI's done something here, guys, with this Mavic Air 2 that is phenomenal. I mean, it's phenomenal. And let's look at the specs here first, and we're going to talk about this some more. Sailor Steve, welcome. Glad to see you here. Bill Thomas is in the house. Welcome. Glad to see you. G-Boy 185. Good to see you. I haven't seen you for a while, my friend. Hope you're doing well. How's the water? Bill's having a good time. I already saw that. So that's great. Bill, enjoy your vacation there. You deserve it, my friend. Okay. We're going to take a look here. I'm going to put up the specs for the Mavic 2 Zoom first. Now, really, it focuses in on the key features here. 12 megapixel, 1 over 2.3 inch CMOS sensor, 48 megapixel super resolution photos, 2 by 24, 48 optical zoom plus dolly zoom, and OcuSync 2.0 transmission technology. This is on, we're looking at some of the core features. Now, the runtime on this is 31 minutes on the Mavic 2 series, okay? We're just going to look at some basic stuff because we could sit here for 20 minutes to go over all the specs. Now, I'm going to go over the Mavic Air 2. We'll look at the key features. 8K hyperlapse, time-lapse video, 34 minutes of flight time, 4K, 60 frames per second video, and 48 megapixel images, and remote controller included. Okay, I just wanted to do this first, just to level set the playing field here. All right, when DJI added, when they added zoom to this, in my opinion, it made the Mavic 2 Zoom obsolete. It really did. Think about it, okay? Now, if you look at it, it is smaller, all right? And it doesn't have it doesn't have the sensor that's on the top, and it doesn't have the sensor on the sides, okay? But what else is no, there's really nothing else that is missing on this. And using that scroll wheel to zoom on this, guys, it's like jaw-dropping. Seriously. I'm like, what the heck? I mean, I was out there, and you heard me on my video. I'm like, oh, my gosh. I'm like a kid in a candy store with this stuff. I mean, really, think about it. It's just crazy how awesome it is. It really is. Work has been demanding down here in South since COVID. I work in IT, so stores business open. Yeah, G1185. I work in IT as well too. Well, I work for Publix, and we've been nonstop. We've been busy. It's been good. It's been definitely been good as far as that's concerned. So glad you're doing well. But seriously, think about it. All right, that's why I went out to DJI's website tonight, and it doesn't show them as you being able to purchase one from their website. Now, B&H and other places you can buy the Zoom, but them coming out with this, the Mavic Air 2, adding the Zoom to it, and guess what else is coming up, guys? That's right, the smart controller is coming up for this guy. And let me tell you, okay, if you don't have a smart controller and you have one of these, you will want to spend the money to get a smart controller. Trust me on that. You have no idea how incredible an accessory that is. I'm going to say this, since I've been in drones for over 3 years, by far and away, that's the best accessory DJI has, or I think any manufacturer has come up with. Seriously. Absolutely. Drone Flight, welcome. Glad to see you here tonight. I mean, so why? And look at the price difference. Okay, let's go back out here. Mavic 2 Zoom is $1349. Mavic Air 2 is $799. Seriously, is there even a contest? I mean, it's a no-brainer, guys. It's a total no-brainer. Yeah, Bill Thomas, you're right. And that case does cause issues. Why would anyone go out and buy the Zoom? Okay, and there's been talk. Pretty much, it's been on and off this year. And Lauren, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's been talk that the Zoom was DJI was quietly pushing it to the side, and there was a reason they were quietly pushing it to the side. Okay, it's because of the Mavic Air 2. I mean, you know, it's like, how can you not get a Mavic Air 2 right now? All right. There's no reason to get. Now, I can't, if you can justify spending another, what, almost $600 more to get a Zoom, by all means do that. But for me, you know, if I was looking to get a drone right now, there's no contest. There is absolutely, positively no contest with this. Okay. It's the Mavic Air 2 right now. The capabilities and features and all that you can do with it. OcuSync 2.0 on there. It's going to work with the smart controller. It now has Zoom on it. When's the last time DJI's come out with such an incredible firmware update? It's been a long time. I mean, something that is so feature rich and packed, okay, with just absolute goodness. Seriously. It really is. So, you know, yeah, I think the Mavic 2 Zoom is obsolete, folks. I mean, it's not showing on DJI's website right now, and I see it on B&H, and it's probably on Amazon. I didn't look, but you know, it's on its way out. All right, now it's kind of, I'm kind of segueing here for the next subject here. All right, we're doing a little bit of a segue here, and what I'm segueing to is DJI Mavic 3, don't wait for it, okay? My good friend Rick Smith, he just put out a video because he's had a lot of questions about it. And like Rick, I get a lot of questions about the Mavic 3 all the time. When's it coming, Bill? Thought we were going to get it in September. It's September. Are we going to get it? Is there any chance it's still going to be here this year, okay? I want to say something right off the bat here, guys. We're not seeing it this year, okay? It's not going to happen in September, all right? First of all, it's not going to happen. Next year, probably first quarter, I don't know. You know, haven't really heard a whole lot of chatter about when, but it's going to be next year, all right? And I'm going to say a phrase that my good friend Original Dobo says all the time. The best drone is the one you already own. All right. Or the best drone is the one that you're going to buy right now. All right. Let's take a look and see what's available in the consumer space right now as far as DJI is concerned, excluding the Mavic Mini, because I think, like I said, we're talking more, you know, prosumer here. Okay. Professional / consumer. All right. And the first one we're going to look at is, of course, you know, I've been talking about it ad nauseum tonight. This is the Mavic Air 2. You know, the features on this drone are insane. The runtime on it, 34 minutes, OcuSync 2.0, the ability to eventually work with a smart controller, which will be coming up, and I'm sure DJI will give us this blessing here shortly, probably within the next month or two, probably, once they get all the bugs out of the DJI Fly app on the smart controller, which has been the big holdup from what I've heard. So here's reason number one. Okay, 34 minutes of runtime, specs that rival and probably, I think, you know, either meet or exceed the Mavic 2 Zoom right now. No, my phone decided to ask me a question here. I probably said something that I've because Samsung Bixby probably came popping up. Okay. So you know, if you're looking, if you want to get something under $1,000 right now, and you want something that's close to professional, right? Here it is right here. Okay. I have not been disappointed with any video I've shot with this. Okay. Have not been. I mean, and for the price, for $799 for what you get, it's an incredible value. All right. Now, if you're looking for more of a professional drone, all right, here it is. Mavic 2 Pro. All right. I've had this now. It's officially been 2 years for this guy. All right. for what you get on this drone, it's insane. And the quality, the sunsets that I've taken with this, when Ron Brown came down, it was April 2019. He and I and both our spouses went to Reddington Beach here on the Gulf Coast here in Florida. And Ron remarked at the sunset and looking through my iPad, and he had his Mavic Pro at the time. He didn't have his Mavic 2 yet. And he looked and he said, "That's incredible, Bill. The low light capabilities of this drone are completely off the charts. And for what you pay for it, you're getting, I'll call it it really is a prosumer type of drone, okay? You're getting the best of both worlds. Plus, you also get that sensor on the top. It's in the and sensor in the back, sensor on the sides. They're covered up by the legs here. And this camera is just off the charts. I have never been disappointed with a video from the Mavic 2 Pro, and especially those low light videos, like at dusk or at sunset. Just absolutely incredible. And how I have very little post editing to do with these videos. I mean, I do some with my other drones, not this one. I don't have to do that. Okay. And it's worth it. And of course, this works with a smart controller, guys. I mean, seriously. And for what you're going to pay for it, for right now, here's my thing. All right. If you need a drone, get a drone right now. All right. This is still an incredible value for what you're paying for it. It's still available through DJI if you're looking to buy it. And you're somebody, I want to wait for the Mavic 3. I want to wait for the Mavic 3. Well, you don't know when the Mavic 3 is coming out, guys. I mean, seriously, you have no idea. So, this is where we're at as far as drones are concerned, as far as the Mavic 3 is concerned. Don't be waiting on it. You don't know when it's going to come out. You don't know what the specs are going to be like, and you have no idea what the price are. I mean, there's been a lot, and we've talked about it. We've talked about some of the rumored specs. We talked about rumors regarding price. I know Marcus and Ron and I had discussed some ideas regarding price and features and capabilities. But we're speculating because we don't have any facts yet. There's no FCC grant ID database. You probably won't see anything until, like I said, 2021. And now, last but not least here, all right, is this guy, the Phantom 4 Pro V2.0, all right? Exceptional capabilities with this drone. Exceptional. It's expensive. It's right now I think about $1749. But what you get with this is just beyond awesome. The capabilities of this drone, the way it flies, the way it handles the wind is incredible. The manual shutter on there. Like I said, I've never had to tinker or rarely tinker with footage from the Phantom 4 Pro V2.0. Now, granted, I will say this. With the Phantom 4 Pro V2.0, it's Achilles heel, and you all know what the Achilles heel is. I don't have to tell you guys this, okay? You all know that the Achilles heel is the props and the shots, all right? Now, you all know, absolutely, G-Boy 185, I am too. I am too. It's like you're going to pry my cold dead hands off my Phantom 4 Pro, okay? It's not parting ways with me, okay? It's like if I could, it would be on my nightstand every night, all right? Seriously. That's how much I love this drone. And there's ways to compensate for props and the shots, guys. I don't, for those of you that don't, fly backwards. You'll never get props in the shots. I've also learned, depending upon the wind, I calculate the wind, know where the wind is at, and I gauge my speed when I'm when I'm filming. And usually if you go about 15 miles an hour or less, you're not going to get those props in the shots unless it's extremely windy. And you can also adjust the gimbal tilt on there. You can get into some of the settings and you can adjust that a little bit even further to help compensate for that. So there's ways of getting around it, but I'll tell you what, it's a workhorse. It's solid, it's reliable, and mine has OcuSync 2.0, and I could not have been more thrilled that it's working with the Oh, DeMarco, welcome. Glad to see you. Kids soccer night. Glad to see you, DeMarco. Working with a smart controller. Let me tell you something, guys. Flying with a Phantom 4 Pro V2.0 with the controller, it's good. It's a good experience. But remember, that thing's pretty heavy. Flying with the smart controller with the Phantom 4 Pro V2.0, it's like night and day. Okay, even with the lanyard on, wearing the Phantom 4, the controller that comes with it, it's still heavy. Okay, not so much with that smart controller. And then the toggles, the way they naturally are. Now I know you can buy adapters and things for your toggles, but it just doesn't. I mean, it just doesn't get any better than that. As far as that's concerned, guys, it really doesn't. I mean, I don't know what else to say. JSK Enterprise, welcome. Rotating Mavic Air 2, my horizon becomes unlevel. Does that happen to anyone else? Richard, are you talking about moving from side to side? Your access? That's a good point, G-Boy185. Thank you. That's Mavic 2 Pro, that would work very well for weddings as far as that's concerned. Lon's in the house. Hey, Lon. Hey, Marcus. Glad you joined us tonight. So, the Mavic 3, it's going to come, guys, okay? And trust me when I say this, okay? There's going to be a price increase. Everybody's saying, "Oh, I hope it's the same price as the Mavic 2 Pro." Guys, it's gonna be more expensive, okay? There's some things that I can tell you about the Mavic 3. One of them is it's coming in 2021, all right? Number 2, it's gonna be more expensive, all right? And number 3, with that, it's gonna have better features, all right? It is gonna have it's going to blow away what's out there already. And so I know I'll get the inevitable question here. Bill, I just bought a Mavic 2 Pro. Now the Mavic 3 is coming out. What do I do? You do what I did, okay? If the drone is relatively new, you can recoup your loss. You can go out on forums. You can go out to eBay. You can go out on Craigslist. Whatever way you like to sell items. For me, eBay's the easiest, okay? I know a lot of people have said they've had issues and problems with eBay. I've been fortunate. I haven't. I play by the rules. You can sell it through on some of the Mavic forums. Out on Facebook, you can do that. Use PayPal. Be smart with your transaction. Verify address and that kind of things. You can sell your drone. It's not like, oh my gosh, I just bought this Mavic 2 Pro. What am I going to do? Kind of a thing. Well, if it's within 30 days of when the other one comes out, you can always send it back, guys. Okay. But if it's after that, you sell it. Okay. And a lot of guys are just like, oh, no, I did this. Da, 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 da. If you make it right, if you price it right, if you go out there and you look to see what others are selling for, yeah, you're probably not going to get what you paid for it new. But you're not going to lose a lot of money on that. All right. For me, I knew, I wasn't going to get anywhere near what I paid new for the Mavic Mini when I sold it this weekend. But I knew that going into it. Okay. I wasn't looking to make $499. I knew that wasn't going to happen. But what I got, I was very pleased with. All right. So, weigh the pros and the cons here as far as that's concerned. So, these are the things about the Mavic 3 that, kind of take this into context here. As far as that's concerned. Michael Wright's in the house. Welcome, Michael. Glad to see you here tonight. Yeah, so, it's like this. Don't sit back, lament, and say, woe is me. That Mavic 3 is not coming out this year. I was really looking forward to it in everything. Look, if you're looking for, here's what I'll tell you. If you're looking for drones under $1,000, look at the Fimi X8 SE 2020. For me, okay, that is a drone that I would recommend. Is it going to shoot as well as the Mavic Mini? No. But like I said, conversely, do you live in an area that has a lot of wind? Because if you do, you probably want to look at the Fimi versus the Mavic Mini. If you live in an area that doesn't have a lot of wind, Mavic Mini. I wouldn't hesitate to recommend it. Loved every second I flew that drone. It's absolutely flawless. But one thing with the Mavic Mini you got to remember with that drone is when you get it, that case that comes with it, you might as well just chuck it, because if you have the props on, it's going to cost. You need to take those props off whenever you put it in that case. Okay, Lauren pointed that out in there, and that's something that's worth noting. All right. So if you want to take a step up, but you don't want to quite spend $1,000, here it is, guys. Mavic Air 2. I have not been this excited about a drone since the Mavic 2 Pro came out, but even with this, I think I'm even a little bit more excited for what DJI has done with it since they've released it, the firmware updates, okay? And it's going to work with a smart controller, all right? That's just insane. That is just absolutely insane. And if you can spend over $1,000, if you can spend about $1,500-$1,600, okay, and you want to get near, I'll call it professional quality, it's a Mavic 2 Pro. This camera is insane in here, okay? Like I said, I have never had to do any post. I've had to do posts with the Mavic Air 2. I haven't had to do post with this at all. None. Zero. None. It just, none. It's stellar. And it's fun to fly. It's rock solid. I've had zero issues with this drone. None whatsoever. Now, if you really want to get if you really can step up, I don't know how much longer these are going to be available, but if you can afford $1,700, do it. Okay, for a Phantom 4 Pro V2.0, what you get with this drone is insane. Okay, the capabilities of this drone are off the charts, and the video is off the charts with it too. Just G-Boy 185, and he and I are alike. This is a drone. It's gonna you're gonna have to pry my cold dead hands off of it. That's just the way it is with this one for me. So those are my recommendations for right now. The Mavic 3 will come out next year. We'll find pricing for it next year, but we expect to pay more than the Mavic 2 series. But also in return, the other thing, like I said, that I can guarantee you, it's going to have better capabilities. They talked about the optical image stabilization with that, and I know my friend Cliff Totten has been talking about it as well, and it's something to look at. It's gonna be incredible when it comes out. But don't sit there if you're needing to get a drone. Don't sit there and wait. Okay, don't do that. Global drone, I don't know. They came out with a new one for the Matrice that came out, the M300, as far as that's concerned. Brad Hendo, you sold your Parrot. Oh wow, you only have the Mavic 2 Zoom and Mavic Mini. Okay, wow, that's you've been busy, Brad. I'll tell you that. Wow. All day if you can afford it. Sucks to bring it on trips with the video quality. You're at G-Boy 185. You're right. Okay, taking that thing on trips. Okay, that's That, I don't want to call it an Achilles heel. It's a PIA. It's a pain in the butt. Okay, it really is, because if you're taking it on trips, you don't want to use a soft case. Ask Billy Kyle. Okay, he'll tell you don't use a soft case with your Phantom 4 Pro V2.0. I saw the video from a couple of years ago. He was out snowmobiling. He had it in a soft case. It fell off the case. Boom. Okay, cracked. Just you got to use a hard case with it whenever you travel, and usually that means you're going to have to check it. And it's G-Boy 185. I know exactly where you're coming from about that. It's a real PETA. It's a real PETA. But conversely, some of the, when you were overseas, I think over in France, when you shot that video over there of that castle, that was insane. That was absolutely insane, my friend. I mean, that's just, I've looked at that many times and I'm still amazed by that. Well, that's it for the Mavic 3. Again, put your seatbelts on, guys, and be patient is all I got to say. And enjoy the drones that you have already, okay? It's just like this one's been hogging up a lot of my time, and the Fimi's been hogging up a lot of my time, and I'm having to squeeze time in to fly the Phantom 4 Pro V2.0 and the Mavic 2 Pro, what can I say? It's like you have to constantly juggle these things to do this. And you brought the Mavic 2 for that France trip. Did a lot of work in post. Oh, trust me, G-Boy 185. That trip to France, that video from that was just golden. I mean, just absolutely golden. I mean, it shows you have some mad skills. I'll tell you that right now. Absolutely. So, that's about it for me tonight for what we got. It's just like I'm ready, and I'll call this a commentary section here, okay? I'm ready for normal, some semblance of normalcy, okay? It's gotten better here in Florida, but it's still not there yet. And I know it's gotten better in a lot of sections of the country, and it's still not there yet. But I'm really ready for it, okay? It's still not at the point where it needs to be. It's getting better. It will get a lot better, but it just kind of got to just bide your time right now. And I know with both Valerie and I, it's like she has to go in the office a half day for she has some things physically, some documents she needs to come in the office every day that she needs to process. So she's in the mornings and then works from home in the afternoon. I've been working from home every day since middle of March. Probably end of March. Yeah, it's probably end of March. Or no, beginning of March. Excuse me. I've been working from home every day, and it's worked out real nice. But I'm ready for normalcy. I don't know about you guys. COVID is better, but we're burning here. Yeah, Sam. Yeah, I saw that tonight on the news. Remember, Sam and everybody out in California. It's 120 degrees out there. They got wildfires out there. They got rolling blackouts out there. Sam, I don't envy you at all. And for all my viewers out in California, our thoughts and prayers are with you guys. I mean, you're dealing with a lot right now. So, yeah, you are dealing with a lot out there. So, it's like, the temperature, the wildfires, the rolling blackouts. I mean, it's just crazy. They were having to rescue people that were trapped. They had fire all around them, and the National Guard had to bring in helicopters to rescue people. I was watching that on the news tonight. That's just crazy. That's just absolutely crazy what's going on out there. So really feel for you guys. I mean, and we have, I know my friend G-Boy 185, he knows, and my Florida friends here, we know. It's, Laura, pray that, thank God it really, there wasn't a tremendous loss of life from it. One life lost is too many, but thankfully, a lot of people paid heed and attention to those warnings and were able to get to shelter. Now it's time to take care of damage, and there's a lot to take care of in Louisiana. So our thoughts and prayers are with all you folks over in that end. But for us, we're on high alert right now. I have one of the pages I look at every day on Facebook is National Hurricane Center, because they pop up just like that. And right before my daughter got married 3 years ago, I mean, we had the closest encounter 3 years ago, and I remember that very well. And it's just one of those things. You got to prepare for it. And I've learned through the years. I mean, I've stocked up. We're already stocked up on batteries. I have at least 2 cases of water in the house at all times. I have a ham radio. For communications capabilities. I have some I have an emergency lantern. I have an emergency Midland radio, weather radio with a crank on it. I mean, you gotta think ahead here in Florida. You gotta kind of plan out ahead here as far as that's concerned. So, yeah, it's too hot to fly and the smoke is too thick. Wow, Leonard. Yeah, that's not good. That's definitely not good. And even down here in Florida right now, even when it's not raining or it's not windy, the humidity is just right now. It's just like, that's why I always like when it goes from October to November down here in Florida, because by that time the humidity is almost gone and things start to cool down. And when I say cool down, it gets from the 90s to the 80s, and then it goes to the 70s mostly in December, which is just beautiful. Absolutely love it when it's down in the 70s here. So that's all I got for tonight, guys. I want to thank you all for showing up. We had 58 in the house, guys. It's showing 50 with 28 likes. Smash that like button. It really makes a big difference when you guys do that. I want to thank you guys, all you guys, for viewing that you do week in and week out. And like I said, remember those who are going through times right now. If you can help out somebody, please do so. We're all going through a lot. We're all in this together, and whether you're here in the United States or in Canada, or in Europe or in Asia, or in Australia, within the sound of my voice, we're all going through this COVID-19 thing together. And vaccine is on the horizon. There's good news coming. Therapeutics are here. So hang in there. Please be safe. Follow what your local governments tell you to do with social distancing and masks and things like that. We'll get through this, and we'll come out on the other side, and we'll get there. And just everybody just hang in there for now. That's all. That's what I can tell you. I mean, it's just, it's been brutal for all of us. We're all, and like I've said before, and I know you've heard me say it time and time again. Mr. Rogers' 3 rules were be kind, and be kind. And I can't stress that enough. One of the things that struck me the last weekend, and I'll kind of close with this. Last weekend, Valerie and I went out, and we hadn't done this for a while. Went to Starbucks and we went to McDonald's. Well, lo and behold, there was a pay it forward chain going through, and the person in front of us paid for our drinks. So we did the same for the ones in behind us. And then we did, it's something good to do. I also saw the other day, if you have an opportunity to do a random act of kindness, do it. There was a homeless vet who needed some items. Saw that on Twitter, and they had a wish list. This was from a homeless veteran person that helps with homeless veterans. We bought some things for them. If you have a chance to patronize local restaurants, okay, I strongly encourage you to do that. These chain restaurants like McDonald's or Wendy's or even Chick-fil-A, which we're finally getting one out here, they do pretty well. And, they have resources to compensate. A lot of these mom and pop shops don't. Mom and pop pizza places, Chinese places, chicken places, patronize them. And if you can, leave a good tip. It it can make the difference for somebody. It really can. So I'm sorry, I'm pontificating a little too much. That's it for tonight. I want to thank everybody for getting in here tonight. Oh, Ray Kelly, you're very welcome, and thank you for watching. Thank everybody for watching tonight. Yes, thank you, Mikey. You tell them, and guys, make sure you go and you watch Ron and Mikey after the show tonight. It's Mikey's great. You gotta love him, okay? And Ron's the only person on this earth that can kind of zone him in and get him back down to earth sometimes. So, but definitely do that. Definitely catch the other shows that are on this week. I don't know if Bill Thomas is on this week. I know he's on vacation, so I don't think he's going to be doing a Wednesday show. Correct me if I'm wrong, Bill. If you are, then tune into Drone Therapy on Coast to Coast Drones Wednesday at 8:30. Ken Dono, my good friend, he has Drone Brews, I think it's called, Wednesdays at 9. Ken Herron's on Thursdays at 8, I believe. This is probably the second Friday, so I think Kelly was on for a first Friday. Art's on Saturdays. On Sundays, our good friend Marcus Crawford is on Drone Seekers International, so watch him. That's on Sunday afternoon. Mel's on Sunday evening. Good friend Lloyd the Grumpy Vlogger, he's on Monday nights. And then, of course, Drone Nation is on Monday night at 9 o'clock as well. So thank you guys so much for all you do. And I'm so glad you guys got those mugs and those shirts. If you haven't sent me a picture, do so, because I'm going to compile either pictures or whatever I can. Email it to me to buildadronereviewer@gmail.com. You can get me a picture of your mug. I know I've got them from several of you and some of the shirts and everything. So thank you guys for all of that. And again, remember everyone, it's a great day to fly. Hope you guys have a great rest of your evening. Take care.